Welcome back to the Office Marketing Podcast with Mike Swigert, the podcast all about sales tips, mindset, and value bombs. 5 questions to help make your day more productive and learn a thing or two. Here is your host, best-selling author, Mike Swigert.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for taking a second to listen to the Office Marketing Podcast. I'm covering one of my favorite subjects in all of social media, and that is the Kardashians. And really, what can we learn from these social media geniuses? And that's not an assessment on anyone's level of intelligence. It's absolutely on their absolute genius in their management of their social media brand. So let's go into it. I made a bunch of notes when I was kind of getting ready for this one. And what's funny is I've never seen their show. Like I personally have never seen their show. I don't even know what channel it's on. I'm guessing MTV or something like that. But one thing we do know is that they do 6 things very, very well. First thing they do well is consistency. So what can we learn when it comes to consistency in your social media? Same thing I tell people a million times over. Social media and networking are a lot the same. Whether you show up at a networking event is not going to make you money. But what actually could happen is, if you're there on a regular basis, people start recognizing, oh, this person's here. They're a long hauler. There's someone who's going to be here on a regular basis. There's someone who I actually probably could transfer trust. Let me find out what industry they're in. The same thing happens in social media. Consistency. Many people say multiple posts per day are ideal. I feel like anywhere between 3 and 5 per week are probably great, no matter where you are, right? And 3 to 5 is being where your client is. That could be LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Guys, that's key when it comes to consistency. Number 2, give them what they want. The Kardashians are absolutely genius at giving their followers exactly what they want. They really do. They're giving them, color and glitz and glamour and inside and behind the scenes. They're giving them so many cool things, whether it be a photo shoot or selection of a fragrance. Be thinking about this. Be thinking. People love behind the scenes stories. If you're in flooring, think about a before and after. What does it look like when you rip everything up? It might not seem sexy to you, but you know what? People find that kind of interesting. Number 3, connection. What can you do to share with your audience things that people walk away from it going like, oh, okay, I feel a connection there, right? Whether it be you celebrating someone on your team because they recognize that you appreciate greatness, and I hope your team is full of greatness, but or you being with your team, or you being with a client, right? When it comes to connection, the Kardashians literally can keep putting this out where people feel like they're their friends, like they feel a real connection with them. How can you share that with your audience?
This episode of the Office Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Fusion Advisory. We help commercial contractors generate leads online profitably. Check us out at fusion-advisory.com.
Next one. This one's a tough one, but it's FOMO, right? FOMO. If you don't know what it means, it stands for fear of missing out. The Kardashians do an amazing job of posting pictures of when they're in exotic shoots or parties or when they're in the limelight. They're very quick to post, hey, this is where I was. And it's probably where you weren't. And people walk away going like, oh, I want to be a part of that. But maybe they feel like they're a part of it because they posted it, right? So what I want you to do when you think about your social media posting, if you're doing a job in a cool building, if you're doing a job with a fun client, if you're doing really what you want to do with your social media is make sure that you're posting to say, hey, this is what we do. And imagine if you were a flooring contractor and you did something on the 4th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 12th floor of a building. All of a sudden, someone sees your posting on the 18th floor and they go, oh, holy moly, these people have done, what am I missing? I'm not using these guys. How do I use them? Okay. So again, we got consistency, give them what they want, connection, and fear of missing out. Number 5, importance. People feel important by association. This is a natural psychology piece, guys. People feel important just because they're being a part of that culture, right? And the Kardashian culture is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, right? They're constantly on these, like we talked about earlier, right? We talk about on these fun getaways, just these amazing places, and being around people that most people think are cooler than others. As a 50-year-old dad of 3, the concept of being up past 10 o'clock at night doesn't sound really that much fun to me, and I don't really need that level of importance. But I'll tell you what, they do an amazing job with their audience, making their audience get a sense of importance and connection by being a part of it. So the last one I talk about is exclusivity. And it kind of picks up a lot of things above it, right? So exclusivity kind of picks up in importance, it connection and FOMO, right? But exclusivity really helps people feel like, hey, this is the level of, a clothing design we do, or makeup design we do, or perfumes, or parties we go to, or this is what we do when it comes to exclusivity. So when it comes to managing your brand online, and you're at a Coordinate, an IFMA, an AIA, a ASID, whenever you're at an event, it's okay to share that brand. This is where we hang out. This is where our industry hangs out. And this is where we go to find great customers. Guys, thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you can learn a thing or two. This is, mildly tongue in cheek when it talks about, what we can learn from the Kardashians, but what can we really learn from really great people that manage the social media tool better than just about anybody in the history of social media. So thanks again for listening. If you get a minute, it really would mean so much to me if you either shared this podcast, or maybe you even went on to iTunes or Spotify and left a review. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thanks for listening to the Office Marketing Podcast. Be sure to join the conversation on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Facebook pages. If you enjoyed the episode, head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.